Welcome to Doing Learning, everybody. It's McKyler, and I'm here with my boy Daniel.
Whoop.
He's my co-host
I am.
today and the previous 61 times.
61?
Yep.
I thought you said 161.
No, not
Oh.
yet. That's in a while. Couple of years?
Yeah.
Math. That's in math years. Daniel,
Yes.
if you could abolish one law, what would it be?
Abolish one law.
One law, it's just gone.
I don't think I know enough laws to know which one to abolish.
I guess that's kind of true. You know what I've always, and maybe this is true, but like, I don't know. I've always just pictured there's like a book,
That has
like
all
a
the
book
laws.
that has all the laws. I mean, like, how does one know what all the laws are? Like, you just have to know them, kind of. Like, there's an expectation that you just learn by osmosis, I guess. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know. I always picture there to be a book somewhere, especially because they're like Article 16, subchapter, blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's like in a binder, like in a bunch of 3-ring binders,
Right.
somewhere in the Capitol, right?
Surely.
That's how I picture it.
like,
I don't know.
so I just put top 15 laws and it just kind of gives me like First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, 14th
Well,
Amendment,
okay.
Civil Rights Act of 1964, the
All right.
voting rights, traffic and speed laws, seatbelt and child safety, DUI, cell phone driving. I'm like, all these seem good.
seem pretty legit.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like,
It was supposed to be a difficult question to answer, and I was really just lobbing you a softball, hoping that you'd say something crazy.
OSHA, get rid of OSHA. We'd be so much more productive.
There's some people out there like, that's what I was saying. Well, as part of this, there's one law that this topic is mostly tied to, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, but were you aware that there was, for quite a long time in the States, a maximum speed limit blanket
Like across all
across
50
the whole
states.
country? Yep, 55 miles an hour.
That seems terrible. I hate it.
So would that be a law that you would want to abolish?
I feel like even if it was in place, like people would break it left and right. There's just not.
They did. they did, and that is a little bit. There's a little teaser of what I want to talk to you
Okay.
about. My notes just disappeared, so I'm gonna try to pull them up again. I don't know if you've ever heard, Daniel. It turned into a protest. It has got some deeper roots. We'll talk it up. We'll back it up. Have you ever heard of the Cannonball Run?
No.
All right, good. I feel like the further we go, the more difficult it's going to get to surprise each other with topics. But I'm glad we haven't got there
Yes.
yet. And I will apologize in advance to your wife because I feel like this is something that you would do.
Great. Is it like the bull run or something like that?
No.
No?
It's named after a guy named Cannibal. Jeez.
Cannibal Lecter.
Yeah. It's a festival. Cannonball Baker was the guy.
First name was Cannonball?
That was his nickname.
Okay.
I don't remember what his Irwin.
Okay.
Irwin Baker. Cannonball's a much cooler
Yeah.
name.
I don't know. I like Irwin.
It's not bad. It's not bad for a dude in his 30 or in 1933
Yeah.
who he set he was one of their very first people to like really change the game. He set a new record in 1933 of driving from New York to LA in 53 hours and 30 minutes.
53 hours and 30 minutes?
Yep. So, so he did it in 1933. He did it like, he was a crazy dude, and that's why they ended up. It's a drive.
You drive across America,
I should
right?
slow down. The Cannonball Run, Daniel, is a unofficial illegal race across the country that has no rules other than get from the East Coast to the West Coast. Typically, it's like there's like this like a bakery and then like what is it? No, it's a hotel in LA and like a mechanic shop in New York somewhere
Okay.
that are like the official starting place, but even that is really soft. But like the diehards, the traditionalists or whatever, those are the starting and the ending point. You start on one, you drive to the other one, you time it, you do whatever you want in between. No rules.
Besides driving.
We'll talk about that. Technically, there's no rule against not driving. It's get across by any means necessary. If you take an airplane, you're woohoo. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's not the point.
Why not? I mean, if you're trying to get there the fastest.
Okay, because there is a point.
Okay.
Because of so originally, like, this was early on, like a cross country flight wasn't really going to happen. But they originally did this like in the early 1900s, and then it took like 2 months to get across the country. Like, they're just like, hey, we're gonna just do it, because I don't know that really anybody had done it, or they didn't write down that they did it.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until Cannonball did it to where it was like, whoa, you could do this kind of fast. Like, you could do this kind of nonstop.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's when it kind of turned into just like a thing, into a race. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so part of it was the drive, right? And that 55 mile an hour speed limit law really kind of converged and gave the run more meaning.
Yeah.
And kind of gave it some more depth.
I see.
As to like, why would you do this other than it's just a thing to do? So let's see. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So what year was that? I didn't write down the year on that one. 1971 was when it really picked up again. So he did it in 33, and basically maybe some people did it, but like there was nothing
Not like
about
a big boom or
yeah, it was like didn't make the news, like people weren't talking about it, whatever. And then in 1971, it was a protest to protest against the government and say, the government is getting too involved with traffic laws. Like, you guys are doing way too much. You're overstepping your bounds. So we're going to prove something to you, right? What's interesting is that, and this gets confused a lot, is that maximum speed limit law it didn't go into effect until 1973. So then the question is like, what are you protesting if it's not like the maximum speed limit? Because what they were saying was that a good driver, somebody who knows what they're doing, who has a good machine that's well taken care of, can and should be able to effectively make their own rules on the road. Like, drive as fast as you feel is safe. Right? You know your car, you know your skills. Drive as fast as you want.
That seems like a recipe for disaster.
It does, right? It sounds like a horrible idea. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You might be a little bit surprised with all of this. So they were protesting things like, eventually it was the speed limit thing. They ended up doing more races because of that. But they were doing it for things like, they started passing laws targeting fuel economy. So you couldn't just have like muscle cars.
Right.
Those are starting to go away. And like, really, like, that's why like so many of the cool cars are from like the 60s and the 70s, and then they start to get weird and drop off.
Yeah.
It's because of the laws that they put in. So they did things like, you had to have a certain amount of better fuel economy. So they put carburetors in, and then you had to have like early catalytic converters and things like that, which the more of that stuff that you put in, the worse performance your car is going to have, right? You sacrifice performance for efficiency, right? And so they're like, well, no, you can't tell me how to tune my car. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm going to drive my fast car and use as much gas as I want. They started doing things like that. They started, it's so funny because I'll just say, seatbelts became mandatory. Right. You start having to put those in like all the seats, not just like the front seat or like what Like some cars just didn't even have them, right?
Right.
Uh,
Unless you're a school bus, then there's no seatbelts for you.
then it's safe because it's for school. I always wondered. I don't know.
It's because if they get into like a crash or like a dangerous situation, they could just get up and
You
get
gotta
out,
get out of there.
and the bus driver doesn't have to unbuckle, especially for younger kids.
I mean, yeah, I guess just don't roll.
Yes, just don't roll. Otherwise,
it's not like the back of the seat was like the most worthless cushion thing.
yes.
Like if somebody was like, and you could feel their knees in your back. And you're like, "Ah." Anyway, that brought me back. Bus 4 was the bus I rode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right. So those are the things that they're protesting. They're like, you have to make your cars safer, and so you have to reinforce them in certain ways, and do crumple zones and that kind of stuff like that,
Mhm.
which ends up making them look less cool and drive not as good. That whole kind of sort of thing. So they're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna prove to you that we can do whatever we want. We can drive as fast as we want, and for as long as we want, whatever. And that's going to prove it to you, right? So that's like the stance. So where's this guy's name? The people that really brought it back from the 30s was where's his name? Brock Yates.
Brock.
So
Nice.
Brock Yates, his teenage son Brock Jr., and then a third
Of
guy,
course.
Steve Smith.
Brock the third.
And then actually a fourth guy, Jim Williams. They packed into a van that they nicknamed Moon Trash 2. It was just like a big fat passenger van from the early 70s.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
which ones I'm talking about. Let me read this. They packed it with fruit juice, chocolate bars, stacks of dollar bills for tolls and gas, and just drove.
Stacks of dollar bills.
It's so this is where it's set the starting and ending point. The Red Ball Garage in Manhattan to the Portofino Inn in Redondo Beach. So there you go. You can punch it in. I wonder what the fastest way is right now and how long it says.
So, what is it?
Red Ball Garage,
Red Ball Garage,
Manhattan
Manhattan to
Portofino.
Portofino
Yeah, in Redondo Beach.
in Redondo?
Mm-hmm.
Redondo Beach.
Redondo.
So right now, it looks like it's 41 and a half hours.
Okay, so that's driving, following all the laws and not stopping.
Right.
Okay, so there you go. That's really funny because what'd you say? 41 hours?
41 hours, 33 minutes.
33 minutes. Old Moon Trash 2 made it in 40 hours and 51 minutes. Hauling. So the biggest thing was like they did it nonstop as fast as they could. Whatever. They're driving a big fat van. What do you expect?
Right. You're not going to get the most efficiency out of that.
No. This was just to do it. One thing I forgot to mention was Brock Yates was a car and driver editor. So he was like a car guy.
Okay,
right? So
okay.
he was like personally offended at all this stuff.
Gotcha.
So there you go. So they did it first. And then from there, it started to gain traction and people started noticing it. And they're like, hey, that sounds pretty cool, right? So at that point, it was just like a publicity stunt. And then after that, it started to transition into like an outlaw race,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this was really interesting. Even it was a race. There was no entry fee, no prize money, and no rules. First one there wins, right?
Right.
Ready, set, go. First one there wins. So let's see. It was ran 5 times. It's really interesting because it's not just like there's not like if there's a few official events and then there's just like people that do it as
Mhm.
well. So in the 70s, there was 5. They did it in 71 twice. One of them was the Moon Trash 2. They did it in 72, 75, and then 79 throughout that, right? And then it happened, we'll get into it, only a couple of times later. So this has only officially happened a few times.
Okay.
But we'll chat about it. Let's see some fun stats. Roughly 2,800 miles.
Yep.
That's a long way.
That is a long way.
long way. I wonder how it compares to all Martine's distances that he swam. He swam almost that far.
2,800 miles?
The Mississippi was like 22. Didn't you tell me that?
I have the stuff here. Like I can look it up while.
Okay. So this is some of the earlier runs. They just kind of ramped up on each other.
Uh-huh.
So in 1971,
Oh my gosh, yeah, Mississippi River 2,350 miles.
so they did in whatever 40 hours what old Martine did in 60 days.
68 days.
68 days. That's Martine is a freak. That's gonna come up a long time, a lot.
Yeah.
Just comparing it back to Martine.
Yeah, that just
so
blows
crazy.
that blows
to
my
me.
mind even more now.
It's just like because the Mississippi's this way.
Yes.
But then like if you put it that way, it's almost the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't.
It doesn't
is that
make
right.
it
That's
doesn't make
crazy.
it doesn't make sense.
That's wild. Okay. Anyway, that reframes it for me quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's not the same exact distance. So okay, cool, whatever. Anyway, 1971. So this was just like a couple of guys, right? And then in 1971, Le Mans and Formula One champion Dan Gurney teamed up with Yates, and they drove a Ferrari Daytona, and they whomped everybody. They completed it in 35 hours and 54 minutes.
35 hours?
35 hours and 54 minutes, averaging 80 miles per hour. Think about that for just a second. Averaged 80.
That means they're hitting triples a lot.
Yes. This is going to be a theme. They only got pulled over once.
What?
Yes.
Let me guess, Utah?
I don't know. Most of them happen like in the Midwest.
Okay, Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason they were, I don't know why, but a lot of them happen in like Indiana or Pennsylvania was a really big one too, where they had a hard time getting out of Pennsylvania. Gurney later quipped to a reporter that the run, quote, "at no time did we exceed 175 miles an hour." So, this is funny. It became one of the race's most quoted jokes precisely because everyone knew it wasn't quite true.
We never went over 175.
74, maybe. Just like averaging 80 miles an hour is crazy. So is it that one? Boo, 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 boo. There's one fact. I don't want to spoil it yet. So
Okay.
I'll just go through my notes and it'll come up at the right time. Let's see. So, okay. What's interesting about this too, if you have heard of this, they did turn it into a movie in 19.
Is it Rat Race?
No,
Oh.
it's not Rat Race. It's the Cannonball Run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's probably where they got the idea, though. I mean, that's kind of basically it, right? Like drive to a thing or whatever.
Right.
First one there. The 1979 was a really goofy year, and that's the one that the movie is kind of based off of, because the movie it's an 80s movie.
Okay.
And it's bonkers. It's all over the place with ridiculousness, right? The funny part about it is that it is embellished, but not by a lot, which is pretty amazing. Let's see. The winners that year, they drove a Jaguar XJS at 32 hours and 51 minutes.
Holy
We're picking up some speed,
Ooh,
right?
30.
So 1979. Okay, so let's talk about probably the best part about the 1979 race. The guy who ended up directing the movie participated in
Oh,
the
that's
79 race.
sweet.
So that makes a lot of sense why he would end up making a movie. 'Cause, like, that was fun. So as the race kind of as it aged, it kind of changed like how to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1979, around that time is when they were starting to get into like the approach of like disguising themselves. And so the best one, this is the best one from 1979, is they disguised themselves as they took a van and then they disguised it to make it look like a real ambulance. So that way you could go past cops.
Mm-hmm.
If you're stuck in traffic, you flip on the lights and you go around them.
Mm-hmm.
You can blow through red lights if you want to. And so then, okay, why are you driving across the country in an ambulance? Like, why wouldn't you like medevac or something like that? So that's what they were that's what they're up against. So it was Yates was part of this again. So Yates, this director guy, another guy, and then Yates' wife was part of it.
Okay.
And so she was the sick one. They named the van the Transcon Medivac. And they basically just said that she was critically ill and was too sick to fly.
Oh my God.
So this is what's amazing. I found that they actually, this is amazing. The 70s are crazy. If we haven't established that yet, the 70s are crazy. There's no rules. They hired or convinced or something an actual doctor to go with them.
What?
And basically play the part. Like if they get pulled over, they're like, "Doc, you're up."
Yeah.
Like, you got to explain this away, right? And so they dressed as EMTs. They had the doctors. They ran lights and sirens. They did get pulled over once, and they're like, "Okay, cool, it's showtime." Right. And so they asked him like, "Well, why wouldn't you just fly?" And the doctor told them cabin pressure. They couldn't handle cabin pressure of an airplane.
Wow.
Which is amazing because cabin pressure is pretty normal.
Yeah.
to like this. Amazing. And so they bought it. And at some points, like they got escorted by cops.
Oh, wow.
Amazing, right?
Like we can take you as far as this point.
Yeah. Like, okay, cool, let's go. Lights and sirens, it's on. So they did not ever get ticketed. When they got pulled over, they didn't get ticketed. The biggest heartbreak with this is that they didn't finish on their own accord. About 50 miles from the finish, the transmission failed.
Oh.
Just blew out on them. So they happened to be at like a gas station or something, like a rest stop or whatever, and there happened to be someone there with a flatbed trailer. So they trailered it and then drove that to the finish line. So they rolled into
with
the finish line with right. So that's amazing. What's cool is that the director, since he was in it, when they put that into the movie, they used that ambulance. They used the car.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. And they actually had done it. They've used it in other things. So the van caught fire during is it during that race? It caught fire at some point too during a race. And so it was, by the time it got to the movie, it was like truly actually beat up, like the perfect prop because it was the real thing.
Right.
It's so amazing. So that was the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the 70s was turning into. There was other teams that would I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. I think I'm okay. That's
spoil
a
the
little
movie.
Later. That's a little later. No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that one's later. Sorry. There's just all these different little weird instances of like how people handled this challenge,
Right.
that I found very interesting. So, where was I? I scrolled too far, Daniel. Holy cow. There were, I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. There was like a team of exotic dancers that did it, and like people who'd like, they did themes, like all these weird things. Like some of them tried to be like, look like military. Some of them tried to just like have a dark car and like try to drive most of it at night, like that kind of sort of thing. And there was, I don't know if I said this already, there was like 46 teams or 49 teams that participated officially that year.
That's insane.
That is crazy. I don't think I have a lot of the times on here for most of those, but what's crazy too is that as they went and they did these, like these people are finishing within like 15 minutes of each other. Yeah. Like there'd be like maybe some gaps, and like maybe the guy in front, like they did really good or something like that. The first three did really good, but yeah, they were like trickling in like every couple of minutes.
Right.
Which is crazy to me that like, I'm like, do they just see each other the whole time? Like, do they take the same routes? Do they take different routes? And they just like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like one of the races, it was a Porsche, and like everybody got stuck in the mountains during a snowstorm, except they brought snow chains. And so they like whooped everybody by like 20 hours because everybody else had to wait for the snow to melt.
Yeah.
So there's just all these ridiculous stories. And so it got a ton of attention, and it actually got so much attention that they called it canceled. They're like, we're not going to do this again
because it's too in the public's eye.
It's too in the public eye.
Police know, or like look out for it.
Yes. Gotcha. So they're like, it's whatever. The race is coming up. Everybody get ready. Let's set some speed traps. Like let's get these guys.
They ain't gonna get us.
I'm like, I know it's like clicking in your head. Like how would I do this? What route would I take? Like, could I drive that long? Like I thought maybe your wheels would start clicking in there.
Oh, they definitely.
So we'll talk about it. I'm
There's
very
no
curious
rules.
to hear. There's no rules.
There's no rules.
Do you want to say now, or do you want to hear more and then you tell me how you would do it? What's your impression now? Like how would I do it? How would you do it?
If there's truly no rules.
There's no rules.
I would like, okay, first of all, am I just doing this by myself, or am I doing it during a race? Or does it matter? Just how I would do it.
I don't think does that influence your answer?
Not really. Either way, so I would predetermine the shortest route, which I'm sure the one I see here is the shortest route, right? Like driving.
It's got to be close. I mean, usually they either do shortest by time or distance,
right?
Because it's not always
right.
The shortest is the shortest.
Exactly. So
the fastest.
What I would do is I would map it out where most of the race is good weather, right? Like
look at that radar and be like, there's a storm's going up towards Michigan. I'm going to go towards whatever.
Just try to be like the summer months, not like
okay, sure.
Like not winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
yeah, why would they do that in like not the summer?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And then if we're starting on the East Coast,
yep,
you bet your bottom dollar I'm starting on a motorcycle. Because I can bob and weave out of everything and anything. I don't know if
it says that do you have to? I mean, it
says no rules.
So do you have to start with the same vehicle? They basically do or did maybe. But if there's, I don't know. That's an interesting thought, Daniel. Keep going.
But if there's not, just keep going. And then like, since I've already predetermined my route and I have a motorcycle, I'm just gonna be like, hey, this can go X amount of miles. You're going to be here.
Oh, you're Pony Expressing it.
Yes. And like, you're going to be here.
I like that.
We're just going to go.
I like that. Are you doing motorcycles the whole way, or are you?
And if there's a section, let's say like over the Rockies where we can't.
Now you're getting in a car.
Now you're just getting in the car. You're just like going, boom.
I like where your head's at, Daniel. Pony Expressing it.
Mm-hmm.
If if that's not against the spirit of the thing, 'cause that's like the other thing too that
Right.
purists are like, oh, that's not the point. I like that.
Because I mean, like,
It works for the horses.
you're
You're
just
gonna at least save on the time it takes to fill up your tank.
yeah, like just go.
So I like that. I like that so far, Daniel. We'll see if you get any more ideas as we go here too. I will say, because I don't think I mentioned it. Oh, Cannonball Baker. He did it many times actually,
Okay.
and he did it in like 4 different cars, and then he did it on a motorcycle. He did the whole thing on the same motorcycle. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Because
But
I mean, like,
people do that kind of
you-
nowadays.
like,
They just go cruising.
right? Because then, like, let's just say, like, no, you have to keep the same vehicle, right?
Mhm.
Well, then you would just calculate, like, okay, my motorcycle is going to be here. I'm going to be running low on fuel. Get another car, and as we're driving, you're refueling, just and then just keep going.
All right, I like
just like,
that.
just like,
You're like when they do the jets, like midair fueling.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like you pull up behind a van and they throw a garden hose out.
yeah, and
and
just
you're like screw up the
no,
tank.
no. We already have the thing already made. Like it would just be like open the lid, and they already have the adapter that quick.
Oh, you got a quick connect.
Yeah, quick connect. They have the pump going.
Oh, it's mhm,
Get out.
This is easy. We've got this figured out. You might be a little bit surprised what other people have come up with, because we haven't quite gotten into the technology part of this.
Yeah.
Yet. So that will come. Let's see if I missed anything about the movie though. Let's get back to to this storyline here. What I was saying, especially with the movie, with the huge race, it got way too much attention. The movie came out in 1981 and it starred Burt Reynolds. So
Really?
there you go. Yes.
Ooh.
So it was like
what's it called again?
Cannonball Run.
I might have to watch this.
I can't remember. It was like the second highest grossing movie of that year, and it was behind. Oh my gosh, it was behind another movie that was like, oh okay, of course that one was number 1. Oh, I can't remember. I didn't write it down. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, this looks sweet.
We put it on the movie list,
Like,
I guess.
just like the cover. Maximum speed
55. Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
so yeah. At this point, they're definitely protesting that because Daniel, do you know when the 55 mile an hour law was repealed?
No.
1995.
Oh. What?
That was
That's not-
around a long time.
That doesn't compute with my brain.
I know. So like fast speed limits are kind of new.
Whoa.
Or, well, they came and went.
They're
but-
less than 30 years old.
Yeah. How weird is that? And so the way that they enforce this too, just because I know somebody's going to ask, like, why did the states do it?
Mm-hmm.
That basically the federal government was like, we're not going to give you federal funding for infrastructure, especially related to transportation, roads
Mhm,
and stuff
mhm.
like that. We're not going to give you federal funding if you don't enforce this law.
Mm.
So they're like, okay, I guess we'll do that.
What does enforce the law mean?
Post it. You have to post it and then enforce, like pull people over that are going fast.
You have to pull, like, you can't just be like, hey, look, we posted it.
Yeah. So this were probably, I mean, to some degree, like quotas or whatever.
Right.
They're probably like, hey, well, give us your numbers. You got to prove it to us that you're pulling people over. So I bet that's where it was probably quoted up quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would bet. This is really funny. And I knew this at the time when I was driving it. The first car that I drove was a 1996 Jeep Cherokee.
Okay.
Awesome car. Oh, man, it was the best. I miss it.
You can still buy one.
They're pricey now. People really want them.
Well, you can still buy one.
Yeah, I still could buy one. That is true. It's not like they're gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, it had on its speedometer 55 was like a big red line, and it was the only one. Like you've probably seen that in older cars.
Yeah.
That it was because of that 55 mile an hour rule. Yeah. So there you go. If you got a car that's older than 1995, it probably has that line.
Dude, Farrah Fawcett's in this and Jackie Chan's in this. Like,
Yeah, it was like a huge deal.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's insane. I just keep looking. And then it says it's notoriously difficult to find on mainstream subscription streaming platforms in the U.S.
Interesting. What about other places?
Man, I don't know.
Weird. I wonder why.
Interesting.
Well, if you can find it, watch it, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I've seen it, but yeah. It does have the ambulance van and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that just like a...
I think he was the main driver or something like that. I don't know. I don't watch it.
Ooh, there's a Trans Am right in that picture. Ooh, beautiful. With the golden bird.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool
classic
car.
T-top, man.
There you go. The point of all of that, with the attention that I'm whatever, is that they didn't really get rid of it. It just went underground and they renamed it the US Express, which is kind of an awesome name, but it's just like, oh my gosh. So this is where it turned into like less of a carnival show and more of like people looking at the time and being like, how can I make that time? How can I go faster? How can I get there faster? Right? What are the limitations? Right? You're talking about a huge one is gas, right? Cops is another one. Weather is another one. You gotta eat. You gotta rest, right? You gotta use the restroom and stuff. And all of these things are things that people addressed in order to try to make it go faster.
Okay.
So this is funny. They call this like the nerd era. The 80s is where it goes from like the crazy 70s into the nerd era of the race. For one of the reasons is because the guy that made Sim City participated in it.
Okay.
So it's just like it got a lot of attention from like from all kinds of people.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. That's like notably the guy that made Sim City was in the race. And, I'm like, okay.
Wait, does that mean
sure?
Do simulation runs count?
I mean, that's kind of lame, but I guess a different category. I don't know. You'd probably get laughed off the stage with that one, Daniel, but I did it in 1 second. It's the fastest. I put my car at 1,000,000 miles an hour. No rules.
No rules.
Daniel, you're a menace when it comes to no rules. Dang it.
Just literally draw a straight line. Like, just have that. I win.
Easy.
Didn't get stopped once.
Good job, Daniel. Anyway, so this is where, they started getting more technical, engineering driven. How do you avoid cops, right? So they're outrunning police. They're just trying to go faster than them. They have radar jammers in their car. They got tail-like kill switches, police scanners, right? This is when they're starting to do that. I don't know if it's now, but a little bit later too. They start like night vision goggles and stuff like that to try and find cops while they're driving at night.
Could you imagine you're wearing
driving with your lights off? Yeah. I mean, anything you can do to just not be seen or spotted, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where everybody's headed. So then in 1983, kind of somewhat unexpectedly, two guys, Doug Turner and David Diem, set a new record of 32 hours and 7 minutes. So I think the one that I said before that was like 35 hours.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, dang, like, how did you do that? Right. They drove a Ferrari 308. So fast car. Sure. Yeah. This is really interesting is that they kept their secret for over 2 decades of how they did it. And when it came out, it caused a lot of controversy because they too liked the no rules rule. And they paid someone to fly a scouting plane that was looking for cops from the airplane.
Ooh.
So they had the airplane flying their route and just spotting cops for them. And then would just radio down.
That is smart. That is playing by no rules.
It's not against the rules. I'm like, how amazing is that? So everyone's like, that's not fair. And it's like, well,
You didn't. It's not
There's
fair
no
because you
rules.
didn't think about it.
Exactly, and it can't afford it. It's
Yeah.
like if I had a Ferrari and could pay a private pilot to fly across the country,
I would have done it
I would
too.
have done it too. Like, oh, it's not even. So the whole no rules thing is really, you know, what you're gonna end up with some controversy for sure.
Because I mean, sure, if you had enough money, you could pay every single state you're gonna go by. Like, I'm gonna go through your state.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop me, and you'll get all this money.
Pay off the cops.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sure, why not?
Or like just have them roadblock everything. Like,
Yeah.
be
Like roadblock all the your competitors
Yep.
or what? Yeah, I'm not against the rules. Not against the rules. So we'll keep going here too because
and you said that was 32 hours
32 hours and 7 minutes
with a helicopter helping them guide.
an airplane, aircraft,
aircraft.
yeah. So that record stood for over 20 years.
And that was
Pretty
in the
good.
80s.
83. Yep. So it wasn't broken again until 2023. Sounds like.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait,
2003.
I was like
I can't
2020.
do
I was like
math.
2023. That
No, it's so recent.
that was. Why didn't I
No,
hear
sorry.
about this?
Yeah. I don't know. So
Oh, 03, good year.
here's another fun one. One that broke the record. Over 20 years. So this was the one that ended up breaking the record next was driven by a guy named Alex Roy. And so his idea was the hiding in plain sight view, kind of like the ambulance a little bit.
Yeah.
So he took a different approach on it. He's like, okay, well, who's definitely going to get through? A cop.
Right.
Cop can do whatever they want, right? But he's like, I can't impersonate a police officer. I get in big trouble.
That's
for
it.
that.
Yeah.
He's like, but there's really no rules against impersonating a foreign police officer, which blows me away because, like, why would they be here? It seems so dumb. But he disguised his car as a German police car.
Mm-hmm.
So he matched it. He got a BMW M5 and disguised it. Decals, sirens, lighting, like you could ship it over to Germany and it would be a cop car.
Yeah.
Right. It even had like Polizei written on it. I don't know how to say it in German. Right. Like
Just-
all the details.
Yeah.
It's a cop car.
Is Germany a right-hand drive country or not?
It's not.
It's still left-hand.
I think most everywhere is left-hand except for the places that are right-hand.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like the majority is left-hand drive,
Okay.
I believe.
I just wasn't sure, like, because if it was a right-hand drive, that just even puts it even harder, right, for him to try to
Yeah.
pull that off, because then, like, you have to special import that car.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if he's really going to try to match it.
Like,
yeah,
if it's
that could be
like,
tough.
like if he was doing like a Japanese
Yes.
impersonation, cop
Yep.
impersonation, then
Yeah,
that's
it's like, oh, that's not an actual Japanese car because it's left-hand
Yeah.
drive. All right, or whatever. Yeah. Yes. So I don't think so. But he also dressed up as he wore the right
Mhm.
clothes. He did everything, right?
do foreign, I guess, would foreign cops in a cop car have what is it, the immunity, like foreign immunity or like diplomatic immunity?
I don't think so.
Because I know, like, when like other like diplomats come with their cars,
Yeah.
they kind of have a diplomatic
Yeah,
immunity,
they-
right? They
yeah.
can do some like park in no parking zones and stuff, like, because they're like there for a specific reason.
Yeah. I have no idea. And I think all the cops that he drove by also had no idea. So another reason he did German as well is that they're notorious for having, speed limitless highways, right? The Autobahn, right? So
Yeah.
like a German cop driving fast checks out, right? And so by the time they think about it, it was like, oh, that's a German cop car. It's like, can they drive fast? He's gone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
whatever. So let's see. His was psychological rather than like a mechanical disguise, right?
Mhm.
Hiding in plain sight. So this is what makes it interesting is other drivers will move out of the way. You can blow through lights. You can do whatever. You're a cop. You can do cop stuff. He removed the car's speed limiter. He had police scanners, thermal binoculars, and reflective roof decals, so the aircraft couldn't get radar reads on him either. And actually, he got waved, like a cop waved him past in like the last stretch of the road in California. It's amazing. Did I not write the time down?
Oh no!
Oh, there it is. It was above 31 hours and 4 minutes. So he beat it by an hour.
An hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're getting towards optimal, shaving those seconds off is really tough.
So you said he was riding a Beamer, right?
Yeah, an M5.
An M5. Wow, and it beat the
Ferrari.
The
308.
Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to show.
Yep. Okay. So let's keep going. Get a little bit more recent here. This dude is like famous in the Cannonball circle. Ed Bolian is his name. His story is interesting. He did the run in 2013, but he
Oh wow.
So he did it in 2013, but he literally like he did kind of what you were talking about. He did the research for like a good 10 years before like he was planning like what route, what car, how am I going to do this? What's this problem? Fix it. What's this one? Fix it. And going through the list, right? So he drove a Mercedes CL55 AMG. I don't know. This is like in the circle, everyone's like, oh, Ed's CL55. Oh man, it was the car.
What is it? Mercedes what?
CL55 AMG. Which I know the AMG they're good engines, but
this is not.
Every car that that beats the record doesn't look like it should, because you think it would be like a Ferrari or something. Like that.
This is just like a luxury. Yeah, it says luxury coupe. It's just like yeah.
You probably drive by those every now and again. Yeah, you would not notice it driving by.
No,
and maybe that's another reason. It's a good performing car that's kind of ignorable,
kind of like a sleeper car. Like you're not. Yeah.
Yep. So he had that. He fitted it with 3 fuel tanks.
Fuel's heavy though.
Fuel is heavy, so you trade a little bit for a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So he could go 800 miles before refueling. So he's only refueling like 3 times. It's going to take a while because it's 67 gallons. But
you're going to... See, this is why you have a partner.
You do it in the thing with the quick connect.
Come on, guys.
Edward, come on, man. 3 radar detectors, 2 laser jammers, a police scanner, and a traffic light changer.
Genius.
I mean, if you're going to break the laws, like
you might as well do it.
Freaking I don't know. They say don't break more than 1 law at a time, but there you go. It's gonna break him. His team literally had to use bedpans, so they didn't have to stop for restroom breaks. Which it's a bridge a little too far for me. I don't know. I just don't want to drive in the car with that. Like, what if you hit the brakes hard?
I mean, it's you can't go 30 something hours without using the restroom. Come on, you prepared on everything else.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they're like taking turns driving, I mean, other than it gets quite dangerous. Like if you're getting pretty hungry, like if you haven't eaten in like 30 hours. You could probably do it.
You can get accustomed to like not eating for that long. Yeah.
Maybe he could have went a little quicker. They wouldn't even have to go.
No.
I don't know.
And you can stay awake for 30 hours straight, so you don't even have to trade off.
You can. Yeah. You could. But yeah, I don't know. I've also never driven that fast for that long.
No, that's true.
That has to be so taxing.
No, you're like, you're there.
Like any little mistake, like you're done.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there was a little bit of credence to if you're a really good driver, maybe you can go faster because like you're going to, something bad's going to happen to you if you're not a good driver. And then you won't be going fast anymore. So I don't know. You kind of weed yourself out if you're not a good driver.
Dude, I'm friggin' thinking back on the van. Like a lot of these cars, very low cars, probably really good banking and stuff like that. The van, I just can't imagine taking like a 100-mile turn with a van. It would feel so heavy.
Yeah, just right. Like, and I mean, they were, there's videos of people doing this, right? And so like, sometimes they're not going super, super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, they go really fast when they can.
Right.
So I don't know. I'd be very curious to see some of the intricacies of it. One guy we're going to talk about here in just a minute. He was like, we never passed anybody on the right. We never passed anybody on the shoulder. We wouldn't pass people going like faster than 20 miles an hour faster than them or something like that, which happens every day on 470. You know what I mean? Like you're getting your doors blown off by people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, then how did you go so fast all the time? Just like, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like my question that sits here all the time. So the details of it, I think, are pretty insane. So it's just like, you're hitting trips as fast as you can, as soon as you can, and then you get back down, and then you get back up, and then you get back down. So it's so active for the entire drive.
Jeez.
Pretty wild. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a lot. So Edward, they beat the record, right? They set a time of him and his team of 28 hours and 50 minutes.
And this is 2013.
This is 2013.
28 hours. Jeez.
They averaged 98 miles an hour the entire way.
98?
Yeah.
You're basically trips average?
Yeah. That's nutso. Because like, this is how I think of average, right? If you have one, this isn't exactly how it works, but it's like a good way to just know how ridiculous it is. For every minute that you went 20 miles an hour, you would have to go 180 miles an hour for the equivalent amount of time, right? So if you're stopped, is hard to process that, but like for all of that, you're eating into that,
right?
But like if you're driving through town and you get caught at a light or something like that, like that cumulative time has to be offset by a longer time at a faster speed or a faster speed at an equivalent amount of time. So yes, they're probably like driving 175 as often as they possibly could.
I'm trying to see, because like, I don't know other states, but I know Colorado. Like Colorado is like one of the, like for this route that we were looking at.
Yep.
And I'm trying to see like where in Colorado they're going through Vail.
Yeah.
Pass. Like, yeah.
I don't imagine taking that pass like
at 98 the whole way. Like let's say on average, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's average speed, I don't know.
So you're I've gone through
pretty quick.
I've gone through that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it'll eat you up if you're not ready.
Yeah, it's just like
and there's so many people.
Yes.
So maybe they timed it right too. So then maybe they're coming on across at like 3 a.m. or something like that.
Right.
Which then maybe there's animals and stuff like that. Like it's just risk everywhere. The next guy that we'll talk about, and this was common too, is like you got to pick which time you're going to leave. And then that puts you at a certain place at a certain time. So he's like, we left New York at like 9:30 p.m. in hopes that we would be crossing through Denver at 8 a.m. I'm like, holy, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's the exact times, but just thinking like, if I leave now, I would be in New York in 8 hours or whatever. 10 hours or something like that, 12 hours. I'm like, that's crazy. That's so fast. Daniel, the last guy. So this record has been beaten one time since then.
Since 2013.
Actually, it's been beaten, I should say, 3 times since then. That was a complete lie. But it happened in really quick succession.
Okay.
Do you have any idea why so recently it would be broken so many times? Picture your ideal driving scenario. What's missing?
What's missing in my ideal?
Yeah.
A police escort? I know.
Police, yeah, sure. Traffic.
Traffic is missing?
Yeah. When was the most recent time? What was going on in the world where nobody was driving?
Oh my gosh, COVID. They did it during
COVID.
2020, 2019?
2020. Mm-hmm. So that's when they set the record.
Genius.
May of 2020.
It's so genius because there was literally no one on the roads. Like I tell people, like, I still had to work through that entire time.
Yep. Same.
It was never a better time to be on Colorado highways.
It was so nice.
Like I could actually get to places
yeah.
in a very, very good time. Like, it's going to be like, it's 15 miles away. Oh, that's a quick drive, you know?
Yeah.
As opposed to right now, it's 50 miles away. Oh, shoot. Do I want to spend 45 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Hour, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. The rest of the COVID discussion aside,
yes,
it was pretty amazing to see. Like, we went to Steamboat, like they were shutting stuff down.
Right.
And we went from Denver to Steamboat in like 2 hours.
That's
which
insane.
Normally it takes like 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Right.
And we weren't driving like this, right?
Right.
We were just driving normal. There's just nobody there. It was crazy.
That's like the perfect,
So,
it's the perfect scenario for
Yep.
something like this.
Yep. So,
but it's also very risky because there's like, you're like one of the only people out there.
yes. So, yes, exactly. So, really, really interesting. So Arnie Toman and Doug Tabbitt.
Arnie and
Doug set a new record of 27 hours and 25 minutes, which is moving.
Ooh.
And then they got beat. Like, this is all happening in spring of 2020. Like,
Okay.
as they shut things down like March.
Right.
And then like by May, it was almost too late, right? Because everybody's like, oh, this is lasting longer. We're going to go out. We're lifting this or whatever. It just, you know how it went.
Yep.
So it got beat. The record got beat 3 times in like 3 months. So they set it in 27, 25. And then this is the amazing one that deserves like, this one did like, I don't know how much you can actually find out about this because some guy who is kind of just an unknown, like a nobody. I don't even have the guy's name.
You just have the time?
I have the time. He borrowed his dad's leased Audi A8 without permission. He rigged a boat fuel bladder into the trunk and he just did it. Like I think even by himself, he did it in 26 hours and 38 minutes. So just like they're hanging out, and then like he did it before they heard like on the street that this guy was doing it, and so like they heard it like from the street it came up, and they're just like look,
yeah,
like here's the proof, right? Like the guy had like his time and his chart and whatever, all this stuff. So they're like, what the heck? We just broke it and you broke it. So they're like, okay, we need to go break it again. Like we're running out of time. We got to go break it again. And so this is in May 2020, they beat it, and they did it in 25 hours and 39 minutes, which I think if you do the math on it, so this is definitely the record still. They used, it's my favorite stat. So I'm going to really not give it to you yet.
Right.
They took an Audi S6. Look that one up.
Okay.
They disguised it with a wrap and a fake insignia so that it looked like a Ford Taurus. It looks like a Ford cop car. Did you look it up?
I have an
Audi S6.
Yeah, I have an Audi S6.
Yeah, so they just those are like a newer one. Do I have the year?
Yeah.
I don't have the year.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an older one.
Okay.
So it just looks like an old police interceptor, and like
and they made it look like a Taurus. I mean, I know what a Taurus is. Like, we had one. We had one growing up. So like, yeah.
And
whoa.
So this is what's amazing about this one, right? Like, so these guys, they planned it out. They did all the other things. They got all the gear that everybody else has too. They're doing it during COVID when nobody's driving.
Mm-hmm.
And I distracted myself because there's one thing that is kind of blew me away, and why everybody probably gets caught in the Midwest is truckers would radio into the cops of like, oh, there's a white Audi A6, whatever.
What?
Yeah,
I thought
the truckers are, they're like, you think they'd be on the outlaw side?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Like eastbound down. You know what I'm talking about?
That does blow my mind. Like, I figured they'd be like the ones blocking the cops to let these guys go.
Yeah,
like,
right? Like,
we got you.
We're going side by side.
Yeah.
No, people got called in all the time. So like when they're listening on the scanners and they got the cop radio and they got ham radio and whatever, so they'd be like, yep, we're looking for blah, blah, blah. And they'd say these guys' car exactly or whatever. So they knew the cops were looking for them exactly. This guy's story is really interesting. Some of the more interesting bits about it, because again, like these are all the same thing. There's people driving fast across the country with stuff, right? With fancy equipment. It's what made it crazy and why I think that the unknown guy, like that's the real record. These guys had like so much. They literally had a team of spotter drivers that would, like these guys would be driving and they'd get stuck behind a cop and they'd be like, all right, Raul, you're up, buddy. And they would go and speed past the cop going like 20 over and get a ticket, get pulled over while they just go boom right past. And so they would pay the guy's ticket or whatever. And so they had a whole string of people who were willing to get speeding tickets. Yeah. So they would take the heat and so they could do it. Right. So it's like, no rules, but I don't know how you feel about that one.
It feels a little cheatery for sure, but at the same time, the no rule things is pretty broad.
It's pretty open.
I mean,
it's just like the other guy did it, like without help. Like,
did he though?
Come on, man.
Did he?
I guess nobody really knows. Maybe
he like found like, I don't know. He faked it all.
I didn't dig into that one, even though I probably should have. But I mean, like these guys, they all took it as real, as true.
Right.
So I think there's some kind of proof or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he cheated. I don't know. Cheated against no rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like exactly.
So I don't know. Some of the other interesting bits about it, like some of the stories they were saying is they almost got caught in Colorado. That was the closest they ever got caught. They were heading out of Junction, about to cross the state border, and they heard him get called in. They're like, "Hey, we're looking for this." A trucker called him in, and actually knew that it was an Audi an Audi S6. They knew that it was that, not a Ford Taurus. So like, you got a white Audi S6 that's disguised as a Ford Taurus.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whoa. So car guy.
Yeah.
It's really funny. No kidding. So then they, on the police scanner, then they're like, okay, cool. I'm going to post up here. I'm going to get him when he comes through or whatever. So they're like, oh no. And he gets his map out. He's looking what side roads he can go on. And you know where I'm talking about, like, right? That it's I-70 as you go into Utah. So it's like where Mac is and all that place. So they're looking for back roads to try to get across the border, because all you have to do is get across the border. And they can't chase you anymore. So I don't know exactly how that works, but that's all they're trying to do. And so like, oh no, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, wait, when did they call that in? Right? Like, when did they spot us? And so whatever they did a little bit of math. They were driving so fast, they had already passed him before that cop radioed in that he was going to wait for him.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So they're like, there's nobody between us and the border. Like, pound it, dude. Like, go. So Daniel, the stat that I didn't tell you is if I remember this right, and I should probably look it up again right now, the average speed that they did was like 123 miles an hour.
Average speed?
Average.
One.
They averaged like 130 through entire states. That's so fast.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should be doing that.
Nobody should be doing that. It's so scary.
Like I understand that it'd probably be fun to do
it's
that.
probably pretty fun.
But doing it for 25
hours straight of that's so fast.
I think you're right. It's very taxing. It would be like so like.
Can you imagine?
Like you have to be on your best game.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe some people that are racers could say differently.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. People are more suited for some of that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna look up right now too. Let's see, Arnie and
Dougie
through each state. Okay, because I didn't have this written down. I'm gonna see if I can get some of the state averages and the total speed average. But yeah, I can't understate just how averages work and how ridiculous that is. Yep, I pretty much had it. Moving average speed while actually rolling 112 miles an hour, whatever. Top speed reach 175 miles an hour, which is really funny.
Sure.
Yeah. Number of fuel stops 5, totaling 31 minutes. You could beat it by 31 minutes.
I could beat it by 31 minutes.
It'd be so easy. Total distance 28:16. Wild. So, yep. They mentioned 125 mile an hour averages across multiple states in the Midwest.
I think these guys look like typically what I would think they look like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's them. Yep. They're just cringy card guys.
Yeah, that's what they are.
So, I'm trying to think. I know I missed a few of the more fun stories. I just thought that's so crazy of like how recent that was. And like this happens. Like people just do this. Like I bet you there's a subreddit for Cannonball Run. But
here's the thing. They're doing something highly illegal.
Yeah.
In all sorts of manners, right? There's some states that you can't have like the radar or whatever, whatever. And then you're very publicly able to be found.
Yeah, they like post all this.
What's the consequence? Is there any repercussions to this?
I don't know. I don't think so. Which is weird that you say that too, because I don't know if you remember, it was like a year ago. Some dude on his motorcycle drove from Colorado Springs to Denver in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which was like he had to average about 120 or something like that. Which if you watch the video, that's a good indication of how crazy it is. Although he was being really dangerous.
No, yeah.
Because there was a lot of traffic.
Yes.
So and then he got arrested?
Yeah.
He got in trouble.
He definitely got in trouble because once they like, dude, you posted it, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it gets even worse for these guys because like then you're crossing state line, so it then becomes a federal thing.
Yeah. I don't know how it works. And I don't know, maybe they got their hand slapped or whatever. And I don't know. What's really funny, the ones that I do know and I did hear of, like the ones in the 70s or 80s when they got caught blowing past a cop at like 140.
Yeah.
They got and then like tried to outrun the cops and then hide from him.
Right.
And the cops eventually got him and they had to pay like a $200 fine and that was it.
Wow.
So I'm just like, it's so weird that, this is essentially without consequence. Like
you said it's Doug and Arnie, right?
Yep. ARNE for Arnie.
ARNE?
Yep.
No I?
Nope.
Okay, whatever.
Arn. While you're looking up whatever you're looking up, do you remember at the beginning where we were talking about how dangerous this all sounded?
Yes.
There have been 0 reported fatalities due to the Cannonball Run.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
That makes, I don't know if it makes me mad or not, because then it just keeps encouraging.
I know, right?
Like
You don't get in, if you do it right, you don't get in trouble. You can post it, you talk about it. Nobody, you only get the notoriety from it. You don't get in trouble for it. It just seems weird. I don't know how all that works. I don't know why they don't get in trouble for it. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because I would get in trouble for it. That's what's unfair.
Dude, I could go like 10 over and then get slapped with a big old ticket.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess you have to get caught too, but
it's just,
I don't know. Did you look up if those guys did they ever get in trouble?
I did, but I said Doug and Arn, the Cannonball repercussions, and it says their action sparked severe public and legal repercussions, including intense safety criticisms, fear of deadly copycats, debates over reckless endangerment, and intense scrutiny over the ethics of high-speed public road racing.
There you go. Yeah.
So
controversy. Ooh.
Like
that's not actually. All right. I punched it into, and I've got no publicly reported criminal charges, arrests, or convictions appear to have resulted. So there you go. If you do something the best, even if it's wrong, you won't get in trouble. Is that the lesson?
I really hope not.
I don't know.
Because then
like
I if that is the lesson here, I feel that can branch out to other things that are not as
not driving. I don't know. So many other things.
I mean, I guess nobody got hurt. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's certainly an ethical dilemma. It's like, if you break the rules and everybody's fine, what's the problem? But the problem is that this is so dangerous. It's so dangerous.
Like you're getting into like territory of like it will become fatal at some point.
It's amazing it hasn't happened yet. I mean, the speeds that these guys are going, one little thing goes wrong in just a little tiny way that you didn't expect, and it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're hitting 175 miles an hour and you hit a pebble or something like that, that's just like a little bit weird. Like that might be all that it takes, and you're gone. Just
literally the other day, I was driving and I was turning in from 470 to 25, like that curve.
Yep.
And as I'm going, there's a motorcycle that zips past me, and there's a small little crack that combines like the asphalt to pavement or whatever, that little section. And I just saw him it jumped up, and I saw his body like clench the bike and just land on it and just keep going. But I'm like, that could have ended so bad because we're both on the curve. If he flies in front of me, I'm not stopping. I'm like,
you don't have time.
I'm like, you. I don't think you realize how lucky he was. I think he just felt like he was on top of the world, adrenaline running, and just kept going.
I don't know. Adrenaline junkies are crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I don't do it on your own time. Don't do it in a way that affects other people.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Maybe that's what these guys were trying to do, since there really were less people out on the road.
I mean,
it was the right time to do it, I guess, if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And this will never be beat either.
Unless something like that happens again where the roads are like across the country clear.
I would prefer that to not happen.
No, yeah.
But I think you're right. Like, wild. It's really interesting. In their interview when they're talking about this, they basically, like, they finished that race, and like it didn't feel fulfilling or anything like that. Like their other run, they're like, it felt way more special when they first beat it, and because they did that one, and they're like, that was too easy, and like nobody's ever gonna be able to do that again, and they're just like, again, no rules, but is that one that there should be at least a minimum amount of traffic. You know what I mean? Like it just like,
or at
it
least categories, no traffic, or
Yeah.
like
all of these things have asterisks
Caveat,
next to them, right? But even they were like, they're like, it didn't feel good. Like, yeah, we broke the record again, and it'll probably never get broken again. But it was like, great, cool,
Mhm.
you know, like maybe not quite regretful, but getting close.
right.
So I don't know. I thought that was really quite interesting. Like, I don't know, you set out to do it and you did it, and then you're like, well, hollow. This feels hollow. Too. You would not do it?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I would. I definitely want to take a cross country road trip,
Oh, certainly.
but not.
Yeah.
I think like maybe some straightaways, like, like there's some like really, really straight roads. Do I want to punch it? Heck yeah.
Oh, sure.
Just to see what like
Yeah.
the car can do. Just let the car stretch its legs for once,
Yeah.
Like, cause it kind of seems silly to like own I mean, I don't own one, but like
Sure.
to own a car that's the top speed is like 200 miles an hour and only ever goes 65.
Yeah.
It's
It's like, why does the gauge go up that high then?
like,
But no, I mean, sometimes like a car, you can feel it when it's like, it wants to go.
yeah,
So, but like not for longer than like a few seconds.
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
minute or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A couple miles. I don't know, something like that. Not 2,000 miles over 150 miles an hour.
yeah. Go to what is it, Nuremberg, and do the course there.
Yeah, do
Rent a
that,
car
Go
and
do the
boom.
Autobahn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which that would be fun.
That would
We
be
should go
fun.
do that. Let's go do that
That would be fun.
and do a cross country road trip. But
Yeah.
also, I'd want to take my time
Yeah,
because it would be the worst thing I can think of is trying to do the Cannonball Run legally. You know what I mean? Like just stop at all the lights, drive the speed limit the whole time.
and it takes
And-
you 42 hours,
It takes you 42 hours. You just like for 2 days straight, and you don't get to sleep in a bed,
and you're just like, ugh.
and you're just so stiff, and your legs hurt, and that sounds horrible.
Yeah, dude, I've done what 16 or 17 hours straight, and that was rough.
that's getting up there.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever gone that far.
I just
I don't
did
know
it
what my
from
longest is.
what is it, from Delta or Junction all the way to Dallas?
Okay.
And I think that was like
Yeah.
I think it's like an 18 or 19 like depending on the drive. And
Most of it's Texas.
and I did like 16 hours. I'm like, I need a break. Can somebody like take over?
That's so far.
Yeah, because I was just like,
Yeah.
whew.
I was gonna say I think I've done like maybe 12,
I think
and you start to lose your mind.
yeah, I think around there, yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I just doing it fast just makes it seem, I don't know. Maybe that'd be just worse too because it's just so taxing.
But at that
I would
point,
have
do you
to
have
sleep.
so much adrenaline for so long that it just doesn't feel like anything anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, because that's the amazing. Like these were teams of 3
Right.
usually or whatever. Like the ones that like Arnie or those teams of 2 or something like that, and they would sleep. Like they would sleep for like a couple hours or something like that, and I'm like, I don't think I could fall asleep with somebody driving like that.
Mm-mm.
Just
Mm-mm.
like the fear I would have of shutting my eyes and just that full trust in somebody that we're going to be fine going 140 miles an hour through
Yeah.
Denver.
Dude, my brother-in-law is one of the best drivers I know. And sometimes when he's like kind of going fast around a corner, I still like grip.
Yeah. It's like, I always use this one, but like, have you a jet ski? Have you ever driven a jet ski?
I think I've been
or
on
like
one.
a 4-wheeler,
Yeah,
even,
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. Even a motorcycle, I would probably say. If you're riding, it's kind of awful
Yes.
and kind of scary.
Yes.
because you can't control anything. You can't really hold on to much of anything.
Yep.
But when you're driving, it's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, you feel in control.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's just the difference of that. And so I don't think I could sleep. I don't think I could do it. So I don't think this is for me.
Let's break the record for the slowest time getting there. We just hit literally every single town on the way there. We just go explore it. We sit down, have a little coffee.
It takes us like 37 years.
They did it in a pedal car.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what the most ridiculous vehicle that did make it, but I don't know. Most of them were pretty normal. Probably the moon trash too, just like the old stupid vans.
Actually, it's funny that I say the slowest thing. I've actually thought about, like, it would be cool to have a race, but you have to, like, you are the race is getting there the slowest, right? And obviously people would like just stand there and not go, right? Like with a car. But there would be rules, like pedal to the metal has to be implemented. Like you have to go pedal to the metal and see who's the slowest. So like, for example, like our little Honda Z car, pedal to the metal, that thing is going to get there way slower.
Yeah.
Than other cars.
So then who can make the worst car?
Yes. So I'm just like thinking like the ratio of like somebody like have you seen that little thing where like you're turning the gears?
Yeah.
And it takes forever.
Yeah, they're like it's a Lego thing and it'll be like the universe will end before this other gear moves once.
Like or
like one rotation
exactly.
or something like that.
But yeah, it would be that concept, but in cars, like you're just like
I like 5,000 RPM just redlining, not going anywhere. That sounds awful.
So the races wouldn't even be that long. They'd be like 30 feet because you're going so slow.
Well, everybody, you can join us as we host the world's slowest and shortest race. Buy your tickets at
it's so funny.
And I regret this.com.
The shortest and slowest race, yet it's the longest race because it's just going to take forever.
Buckle up, everybody. You're going to be here for 7 hours as we watch these cars traverse 30 feet at speeds up to 0.03 miles an hour.
Whoa. You got a fast car?
You know, okay. I'm just going to have the internet do it real quick. If I'm traveling at 0.03 miles per hour, how long to traverse 30 feet? Let's see how close my intuition was. Let the internet.
What'd you say, 6 hours?
7 hours. Oh, I was very far off. It would take you 11 minutes. So
there's going to be an exciting 11 minutes.
I
didn't cross the line, I swear.
Oh, it's so slow. It's so slow. Anyway, Cannonball Run, man. That's all. That's a fun one for you. Just some modern American history, a little bit of car stuff. We haven't really talked a lot of car stuff in a while.
No, it amazes me how much because like a lot of crazy stories we hear about the past, the fact that this is like as recent as 2020 is insane. Yeah. And I bet you there's somebody out there somewhere scheming.
Oh, they're working on
to
how do you beat that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that guy took 10 years to kind of figure out. They're like, okay, what do they do? How to do it? When could be a good window? Like they're gonna try.
Yep.
People are still gonna try.
No, I think like people in the YouTube comments will be like, "Oh, as a cannonballer, I think it's really cool that the blah 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 blah." So it's like people do this.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like I said, there's probably a subreddit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I can see it.
Is there one right there?
Yeah. It's. I mean, I'm sure there's.
Does it have like a pinned comment of like how to get into cannonballing?
So it's under the r/cars. But I bet you there's even more more niche than that.
Yep.
So
there you go, Daniel. Cannonball Run. That's pretty much all I got for you. I would not do it. Please, nobody do that.
Please don't. Be safe.
So it's so dangerous. Just
like if you feel the itch, just live vicariously through videos that you see of it, and that's it.
Yes. Yes, that's plenty for me. So I hope it's plenty for all of you guys. Anyway, thank you all for making it this far with us.
Yeah.
Very much appreciate your support. I did quite a bit of research on this one. So many little things that I've missed out on. A lot of prehistory we didn't get into. The mystery man that we know almost nothing about. So remember, go out there, do your own research, and stay curious. Drive fast. What's that song? A fast car. How's that guy?
No, it's working at the car wash.
No, not that one.